And we are live. Hello, everyone. I think we're live anyway. Let me just have a quick look. Yeah, it appears we are live. Hopefully, you can all hear me all right. Just going to look in the chat quickly. First in today was Panzer 1511. Second in was who was second in? Is BCP, the notorious BCP. And then third in was Peter Ray. We've got Daniel Warren. That's me. Tom English Speaker, that would be me. We've got Lady Lolly, Shop Windows. Who have we got in? Who else have we got in? We've got Richard Payne. Oh, unfortunately, we've got Bobby Billington. Great username. The next one, we've got Crap in the Attic. Vinyl Madness, that's cool. We've got is it Stephanie Haight? So it's gone. Stephanie C. God, the chat's moving quick. We've got Steve, The Adventures with Steve Green, Tap Peddler. We've got Car Boot Mania in, Aberdeen. That doesn't sound good. We've got Hitman UK. Oh dear. Who else we got? We've got Darren in, Smart Reselling. Hey, Darren. So, we've got Do It Yourself Lifestyle. Cool. Can you all hear me? Okay, is the audio all satisfactory? I'm used to doing these with headphones on because obviously this is actually officially, as far as I know, well, apart from the live stream I did with Nick when we were doing shots, and I won't be doing shots again. Well, not in this live stream anyway. Maybe another one, but I think this is my first live stream. I think I might have done one with Nick, interviewing Nick, but certainly the first one on my own anyway. So I've got my appropriate cup. I don't know if you can read that. Or is that backwards? It might be backwards. So there you go. I'll let you work that one out. Sound is great. Excellent. Good. You retired after this awesome week. Yeah, Darren, mate. Don't let anyone mock you for underselling. You've done some cracking numbers this week. I tell you what, mate, that's fantastic. You got me really interested in Warhammer and stuff like that again. Not for playing. I mean, I used to play it loads, but I'm going to dig out my old figures. I've got a stack like this of old White Dwarf magazines from like the late 90s. Mid to late 90s. I bought the car boot and they're sat in the garage. They're probably chewed up by mice by now, but I need to get in there. Who else we've got in? Is that Michelle? Oh, it's gone. Okay. Oh, we've got. Is that? Oh, that's gone as well. God, it moves so quick. What's your favorite pre-decimal coin from Saif? He watches my gaming channel. So I'll start off with that question. What's my favorite pre-decimal coin? And that is a double florin, which is a Victorian coin. It's a little bit smaller than a crown, and they used to call it Barmaid's Ruin because it's easily mistaken for a crown back in the day, and it was worth less money. So it used to catch people off guard, and they're quite hard to find. English silver coin, and yeah, there you go. That's probably my favorite one. Okay, well, what I'm going to do is I've got a list of questions that various people ask me. I've also got some on my phone as well that other people have messaged me. If I run out of time, I'll try and stick to an hour with this. So I've got 3 pages of questions from that video, and I thought I'll do this now and then try and do some more live chats going forward. So Richard Payne's put, sold some White Dwarf magazines a few months back. Did you sell them individually, Richard, or did you do them as a job lot? Because these are from memory, bear in mind I bought them about 3 years ago. They're not consecutive, but they're short runs, so there's like 1 or 2 missing. Oh, Ryan's in as well. Crispy. Pete's in. God, Alan's World. Yeah, cheers, mate. If anybody's watching this, by the way, go and check out Pete's Survival channel. really cool stuff on there, definitely. So the first question from the man, the myth, the legend, and himself is from Nick Hills, which is, I've got a question. What is a doobly-doo? Now, a doobly-doo is a phrase that I've narrowed down where I've picked it up from. It's from John and Hank Green, which they've been on YouTube forever. They do a series called Vlog Brothers, and it's from them. They talk about the doobly-doo. So if after this video you're watching it back, head on into the doobly-doo and leave any comments and whatnot. And just above the doobly-doo is the subscribe button. If you're not subscribed, if you can smash that subscribe button, because I'm that close to 6,000 subs. I'm about 70 away, so I'd appreciate if you could sub and click that bell as well. Richard Payne's put, I bundled mine as they were in poor condition. They were from the 80s. Oh, cool. I didn't realise that it went back that far. That's interesting. So, Nick, that is what a doobly-doo is. The next question is the... how can I describe him? He's the... I think of a way of the hustler in a hat, shall we call him, which is Ads Robinson himself. And he says, do you think Amazon will grandfather in certain sellers if they sell a specific amount of an item in a certain period? Who else have we got in? Molly's collection, Vinny's in. Okay, just trying to keep up on this, see if there's any questions in there and jot them down as well. Okay, try and do that. Just bear with me. Sorry, I'm just checking the chat. Okay, do it yourself lifestyle. I'll answer that question, mate, in a sec. Yeah. Cool. Just added a couple of you as mods as well. Hope you don't mind. Cool. So yeah, do I think Amazon will grandfather in? High score on Snake Reelt. I'm ignoring that question, Z. I don't think they will. They used to. Amazon used to grandfather people in. I got grandfathered into DVDs because I think DVDs are restricted now. And I did have to provide some kind of invoices. I remember it was about 2 years ago. But it wasn't that stringent. So they did grandfather me in. I mean, I do sell a fair amount of DVDs, and I assumed as much would happen with CDs. But the knobs over there decided to restrict CDs, and you can only sell like ones that aren't popular, which is just bonkers. Why they would do that, God only knows. They're trying to screw over the medium to little sellers, you know, that sort of thing. But I think now they only really do it for big sellers who can provide relevant invoices. Now, I've provided relevant invoices, everything they asked for, absolutely everything. And still they move the goalposts. So I think there is another factor, which is probably what you're hinting at there, Ads, which is they sell a specific volume of items. So they will look at the metrics and see, okay, this seller sells an absolute shed load of DVDs and can provide invoices. We're going to grandfather them in or let them in. So I think there's something they're not telling you, really, some kind of chosen few. So there you go. I've got Dave Rowland in. Cool. Wow, 40 viewers. Oh, we've got Antiques Trade Secrets. Are you still doing videos, mate? You came out with some right good ones from memory. Okay, the next question is from Alex Keys. But by the way, I'm going to say everybody's name wrong. So apologies in advance. Do you ever get out metal detecting anymore? Any chance of more treasure hunting videos? I've not been in ages. Maybe in the summer. The problem is it just takes up so much time to do it. And I could have whipped around, you know, 4-car boots in the time I could have stood in a field getting cold. So, yeah, maybe. I've still got my metal detecting equipment and I'm still a member of a club because I remain a member because what I was doing is I was cheekily... Obviously, I was making sure that treasure trove and everything like that was above board. But if people found coins that they were allowed to keep, I was buying them off them before, you know, they went on eBay or whatnot. I was making them offer, and then I'd sell them on eBay, that kind of thing. So I'm still a member, and I used to go to the meetings, but I felt like a bit of a fraud because I hadn't been out detecting in like, oh, it's got to be over a year, something like that. So yeah, probably. But I'm not saying ever I won't, but I probably will at some point. Gosh, Zahir is pumping out the questions in here. Blimmin' heck. We've got FBA UK in Stu Mandry. I'll just answer Vinny's question. What metal detector? I use a Garrett Ace 250. It's like sort of it's a decent entry level one. Like, don't buy a cheap one. Cheap ones are rubbish. They're just designed as a novelty that someone mucks about with a kid for a bit. You want to get a Garrett, a Mine Lab, those sort of ones. But the Garrett Ace 250 is about £150, something like that. You can normally pick them up cheap on eBay when someone's tried it, not really fancied it, and then went from there. If I think after this, I'll put a link in the description to them. Also, you want to get a decent shovel, I'd suggest going to like an army surplus place, something like that, where you can get a decent, fairly lightweight shovel, because you're going to be needing that, really. You don't want a massive, great, big, giant shovel. Short-handled one. The folding ones are all right, but they're not brilliant. And also, if you're feeling fancy, Garrett makes this little metal detector that's about that long called a pointer, where you can find exactly where your target is. But yeah. So next question is from Chelsea, which is, do you still sell coins? Yes, I do. Obviously, I do Amazon mostly, but if I find coins at a good deal, I sell them. As I've alluded to and mentioned in other videos, most of the coins which I've had and my collection, and a lot of it I've sold off. I went through a big stint. It was around the time, not the last time I had a break from doing YouTube videos, but there was a time before. When will that have been? 2016, 2015, end of 2015, early 16. I sold them all off because basically I needed money for the deposit on this place. You know, and I couldn't justify not putting as much up front and then having a terrible mortgage, or I could sell off these coins and okay, it killed me. It really did, because I enjoyed collecting them. But now I sold them off, and I kept one or two bits. I kept sentimental pieces that people who had passed had given me, and or sort of things, iconic things that I bought. There were some error coins that I found. I kept them. And then going forward, I have found coins at car boots, but it's really bizarre. I don't know whether it's the proliferation of people having smartphones with looking up stuff, or whether just my eyes are tuned differently now. I look for, books and things like that and DVDs rather than coins. I just don't see them at the car boot sales. And I do go to the antique fairs, but people just want way too much money for them. In fact, I was at a big antique centre. It was in July last year, and there was a person selling like 50% silver coins. And in the past, I would have jumped on that. And he was selling like shillings for like £1 each and florins for £2 each, which was basically their scrap value. He was selling it for scrap price. And before, I would have jumped on that. I would have bought them all. But I actually sat back and went, wait a minute, by the time I take eBay fees off here, I'm going to be making like, I don't know, 20% return on an investment. It was rubbish. So I thought, I'll stuff this. I can't be bothered. So I didn't. Now we've got Hixie in the chat. I can see two of you, Tom. But I'm a bit pissed out in Blackpool getting leathered. Nice. On a Wednesday. You're not going to go to that tranny place, are you, again, Steve? I remember the stories from last time. Yeah, job lots, antiques trade season. Job lots are a good place for them. But I've banned myself from auctions because I went a little bit nuts and spent like 400 quid at an auction. It was just, and I bought this. What I was told was a Lord of the Ring, a prop from Lord of the Rings that was used in the back, like a background prop, and it came with a certificate from a company I'd never heard of. And I went to an antiques fair a couple of weeks later, and I saw an identical one. It was like, great, I've been fobbed off here. Anyway, that's a story for another time. But because I've got quite a lot of questions to get through, and we're 15 minutes in. So the next question is of Yusef, I think it was, wondering if you are able to further explain how you sell used books on Amazon. That is a really open question. I'll obviously have to do videos about that, but yeah, I mean, it's much like eBay in the sense of you just price. You look at what's for sale already. You can't look at solds because there isn't that. You note down the description. I use a lot of templates for the descriptions, so I've got set paragraphs which I copy and paste and then tweak according to what the book is. So I've got certain key phrases like "wear to the edges of the dust jacket." So instead of me typing out that sentence, I can copy and paste that in, and that's quicker than me typing it. Little Tom's top tip there. So yeah, I will get around to that, but that's more of a suggestion rather than a question. And the next question was off Mrs. Happy Dappy Michelle, which is a great name. Which is your partner supportive of your work? Yes, in general, yes, she is. It took a while to, well, this, I'm talking about this and also my family in general, is it took a while to sort of for them to understand what exactly it was I did. I think they just thought I was sort of mucking about on the internet kind of thing. So but yeah, she's now I'm actually bringing in, consistent money, because the problem was when I did coins and silver, it was boom or bust. I'd either have no money at all or I'd be absolutely flush with cash, normally after I'd scrapped a load of stuff. So it was that up and down which wasn't so good really. But yeah, she's fully on board with it. She gets it. She's got what I'd call a proper job, where she's got a boss and goes in full time and all this and that. So I think the part that she is more confused about is me staying up till 3 a.m. playing on computer games, and that's work. Which, to be honest, it is just me playing computer games. There you go. But and for those of you who don't know, I've got a gaming channel which I will link to somewhere. So yeah, yeah, fully on. My family seems to get it. In fact, my family, they'll probably be watching this video, so that's really cool. And sort of more extended family, they're into gaming, stuff like that. Some buy and sell themselves. My father-in-law, he's mega into antiques, and he runs an antiques booth in his retirement, and he does better than I do. So I'm always getting tips off him, so that helps. So it's really, I think it's about modifying how you're talking about things to that person, really. So I'm not going to go to him and try and say about Amazon and how I flipped, stuff from Tesco on Amazon. So there you go. Okay, so that's that one. But yeah, some of my family don't get it at all. They still think I do. They still think I make furniture and stuff, which I used to do. So sometimes you just got to give up and go, yeah, it's going well. Yeah, it's nice weather today, isn't it? So yeah, I don't know. I've got the next question's off. I think he's still in the chat, Saif, which is on my intro. What's the video at 22 seconds? I want to watch that one. Unfortunately, can't make that one. Is too rude for YouTube, shall we say. It's from a friend's stag do where we went out in like these morph suit things where it looks like you're naked. It was hilarious. It was really funny. But yeah, we went out in Brighton. So that was funny. I just thought I'd put a little snippet in there just to liven it up a little bit. So the next question is off Dean, who's in the chat, Car Boot Mania. What's the worst experience you've ever had at a car boot? Now, this was difficult. There was some which I thought were really bad. Like, I was at a car boot when I found out it wasn't my mum, but when I found out a family member had passed away, and that was difficult. The drive home was tough. It was not fun. So that was pretty bad. But in terms of the actual car boot, I was thinking about this. There's been loads of times where it's been annoying. I've missed out on stuff. There was one time I went. So there's several times, but one time I went there. I went in. I put down my window to go down. So my window went down. I paid the woman going in, because at this one you drive through and you pay. It's one I don't go to that often. And sorry, I'm laughing at Treasure Pirate's comment. You pay to go through before you get in your car. So then you pull up. Do you pay? No, the sellers pay, and I was rolling it down to say, I'm early, I'm going to be a buyer. So I did that. The electric window went down. I went to park my car, and the electric window wouldn't go back up. And it was the summer and all that, but I couldn't get my window to go back up. So what do you do? I couldn't leave my car because someone could just reach through, open the door, and then they're in my car. So I was like, I'm going to have to drive home here. So I'd driven all the way to the car boot. I got there early, so I'd be like early in the queue, and I couldn't go. I had to drive home. And then I had to go to the Alphas to get them to think. My window still doesn't work. It's stuck up. My driver's side window. It's a right pain in the arse. So that was one of the worst times, definitely. So who else have we got in the chat? Sorry, guys, I'm not really paying attention to the chat. As I said, we've got Treasure Pirate. What's that? Stella Cross All the Stitches. Oh, that's not a name I've heard before. Cool. Hello. The other time was sort of two sort of similar sort of times. One time was it was the end of last year, actually. We went to one on hard stand, sort of on gravel. And it's one where there isn't set rows. BCP, what car have I got? It's like a Citroen where you take the back seats out, Blingo. Yeah, the Cardis, that you can fit a lot of stuff in it. And it's not set rows where you can park. So I parked in a row with another row of cars in front of me. And then when I came back to the car to go to another car boot, someone had parked behind. So I had like what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 cars around me. So I had 3 in front, 2 at the sides, and 3 at the back. So I couldn't get out. I was like, what do I do? So I had to wait until someone came back, and then they eventually moved the car, and I gave them like the look of death, like, that kind of like look. And then I had to like wiggle the car with the help of one of the stewards through this gap. Oh my God, it was an absolute, I mean, it was like centimeters either side. I had to fold my wing mirrors in and everything. So I got blocked in. I've got someone there. Metal, is that Metal Tech? Been to Newark Antiques Fair. I haven't been in ages. I've missed the last 4. I used to go all the time, but I just haven't bothered. And then the last time, I'll get past this question, was similar, again, related to the car, is I went to this other car boot, and it was it last year? Early last year. So we had some heavy rain early summer, and we went there, parked up, went around the car boot, and yeah, it was a bit muddy, but where I parked was on like a lower level, and I didn't realize that, and I got completely stuck, like wheels spinning, everything. And I was like, oh my God. And what we had to do is we had to go and get the local farmer to get his tractor out. I had to pay him a £5 to pull my car backwards out of the mud. But me being an idiot, I was in there covered in mud because I've been pushing people out because, I was nice like that, helping other people in my car. And because I was such an idiot, he was pulling away, and he couldn't get me out. I realized I left my handbrake on. So I was like, left the handbrake on, and then he pulled me out, and he was like, oh, we had ever such trouble getting you out. I was like, that's really weird. I don't know why. I must have sunk a bit more. And I was thinking, oh God, I left my handbrake on here. So yeah, they're the ones that were pretty bad. All right, what have we got? Just checking there's no other questions. Wow, we've got 43 people watching. That's fantastic. Then we've got another question from Sapphire Lewis. Please do more rant videos and more videos about coin collecting and silver picking. I know there's no profit in silver anymore since the price crashed, which it really did. It was you that got me into silver in the first place. I used to watch your videos religiously. Your tips on magnets and to test silver really helped. Well, that's cool. As I said, the reasons why is just because it's that, and also you end up having a lot of money invested into like a handful of items, which is cool, but it's not cool as well because it's, I don't know, it's easy to get burned quickly, and you've got to invest a hell of a lot. So, oh, Southwest Sellers in there. Cool. Evening Tom and chat like was picking up an eBay purchase. Nice. Tat on the time. Oh, I hope you're doing all right, mate. I just read your post earlier. I think everyone needs to, send good vibes your way, mate, because that's pretty crap. But okay. I hope you're doing all right there, by the way, Hixie. Don't get too messed up, mate. Okay, so but yeah, I will be doing more silver videos. I mean, there's not much more I can do about testing silver and saying about that because there's only so much you can really do. I'm going to do a video at some point about hallmarks, possibly with Margaret over at Texas Gal Treasures. It might be over on her channel. I'm not too sure, but I'll let you all know because I think that might be interesting. And the next one is a question of Tutti, who I don't think's in tonight, but he's a video game collector. Why has it been 4 months odd since your last video? Well, Tutti, it hasn't been. I'm doing this video now, and it's been like 3 weeks. So there you go. The next question is off Chezo 1969. How did you make the transition from working for an employer to working for yourself full time? And how did you manage during the transition? Well, it was, I'm trying to think, probably 6 years ago, 7 years ago, something like that. And it was such a gradual phase. I was doing odd jobs and still doing little bits and pieces. But I remember that day quite well when it was just like, okay, that's it now. Scary. Basically, what I've put down here is saving up money. That's important. Working out if this is going to be doable and giving you a time scale of saying, okay, if it doesn't work out by this point, I'm going to start looking for a job again because that's important. Also, I'm not ashamed to say I did receive help from working tax credits. They did help at the time. It is what it is, isn't it? I didn't want to, but my parents were very much like, well, we've paid into this system to help support you. So just think of it like you're getting supported from us. I didn't kind of feel right, but I did. But they are there for people to help you. Just sort of stubbornness to do it because there you go. But it did take ages. It took years really to get a stable enough income to make it worthwhile. I'll just quickly answer Chris's question in the chat. How are you finding Twitch? Not very good, to be honest. Twitch. I think it takes a while to. I've got 2 followers, and I think one's a here, and I begged him to be my follower. So if you do know about Twitch, head over to Reseller Gaming and follow me on Twitch. I'm doing some streams over there. I couldn't work for someone. I've always bought and sold bits. I've always been like, nah, I'm not going to do that. So I just couldn't see myself working for someone for the rest of my life. The only thing I do miss is co-workers, going into somewhere, having banter, that sort of thing. But I mean, to be fair, you guys are essentially my co-workers. I've banter with them all. I'm always telling like Zahir where to shove it and stuff like that. It's a laugh. And that's why this community is great. For all the mocking of people saying that myself and others are giving the secrets away and whatnot and all that malarkey, I wouldn't change it because you guys have been great. You've been really good. So the next question is from Monkey Jim 999. Apart from FBA and eBay, what other income streams do you have? I was trying to think about this because I'm sure I will have forgotten some. But the ones I've come up with is I've got an antiques booth which I sell at. I sell on Etsy. Well, I say I sell on Etsy like every now and then, if the moon is right, that someone will buy something on Etsy. I honestly don't know how people make money on Etsy. I really don't. I think it takes such dedication that I question whether it's worth it. But I cross list things on, like cross. You know what I mean by cross list? I list it on eBay and on Etsy. I nearly said that wrong, and that would have sounded odd. But I cross list on eBay and Etsy, and then if one sells, then I cancel it on the other, like vintage stuff. YouTube, obviously, you know, there is the ad revenue, which is, you know, it is what it is. And I still make stuff as well. I do the odd craft fair. There's some local fairs, summer fairs, where I go and sell bits that I've made. I used to make jewelry as well, which, you know, I still dabble in. To do the summer fairs, they're always good because I find that sometimes they're often associated with like a beer festival or something like that. So that's the best of both worlds. I can make a bit of money and then get a few pints down me. I do sell at the antique fairs, and that's cool. What's that? Yeah, don't bother. Come on, people who would. Yeah, no one would employ me, Bob. That's the thing. I do sell at the antique fairs. I may be planning on selling at some of the big fairs like Newark this summer because I've got loads of bits that have come from the booth which I just want to get rid of. In equal measure, I'm going to do some car boots, and I did all right at car boots. Not last year, the year before, I did quite a few. But the problem with selling at car boots is I want to look round, so it's a bit difficult, really. I kind of like put my tables out, walk around, buy some stuff, and then lay my stuff out, which is not ideal. And no one will ever sell with me at the car boot because I'll just abandon them and walk around. So, yeah. Scrapping stuff. I used to do a lot of scrapping with gold and silver, and that was brilliant because it was guaranteed money. I knew what I paid. I knew what I could sell it for, and yeah, I've scrapped some stuff which I think, God, now I could have got more, but it's guaranteed money. And then also, I do a bit. I used to do more, but I do, if I see it, I do a bit of scrapping of like copper and that sort of stuff. Like if I find it, or like on my travels, or someone's got ripped a boiler out, like someone I know, and oh, I'll have that off you. So then I'm like a proper dodgy git. I'm not one of these people with like a car with like stuff coming out the back and flying around, because that's dodgy as out. And I think like you get in trouble with not having a waste carrier's license. But if there's the odd bit kicking around, or like when I was doing the house up, we found some lead piping in the walls and whatnot, took that down the scrappers. Oh, we've got Nick in the chat. I've answered your question already, mate, about the Doobly-Doo. So, but yeah, it takes stuff down the scrapyard, and it goes through the business, so it's all official. Take down a business card, ID, just go straight into the business account. So it's fine. It's easier money. And then also I do some freelance work as well for different people, different friends who are makers and craftspeople. If they need a hand doing a show, or if they need a hand making a project just before deadline or that sort of thing, I'll do a couple of days with them. Give them a hand. Also helping friends out with different bits and bobs like that, really. So I think that's all of them, really. The next question. Let's catch up on the chat. Car Boot Mania and Zahir have both said the same thing, saying for Twitch you need a schedule and to stay consistent. Takes time to grow, but the real rewards are great. You see, I'm too flaky. I mean, I'm doing YouTube and stuff now, but 2 months down the line, you probably won't see me, and I'll be gone for 6 months or something. No, what I'm like, because I get distracted by the shiny thing. I don't know. I am going to try it this time though. So, but the next question is Johnny D. I'd like to see a video discussing category restriction, which kind of harks back to what I was saying about Ads' question earlier, which I'm no real expert, but I'll have a go at doing one. Really, I mean, it's trying to work out the ramblings of Amazon. Sometimes it's a different story from a different rep. I don't think they even know, to be fair. So Southwest Sellers, what is your Twitch channel? And I'll follow you. It's the same as my other YouTube channel. It's Reseller Gaming, so you should find us there. I'm also too flaky. Yeah. So yeah, next question is from FBA UK. Could you do a video on FBA books, i.e. profit versus sales rank? That's definitely a video that I'm going to do. It's on one of my little post-it notes here in front of me to remind me to do it. In fact, I can get rid of that one. And yeah, I just kind of wing it mostly. When I started, I mean, I'm regretting it now, and it's cost me so much money that I got these free books from this house clearance, and I was sending to Amazon like 5, 6, 8 million rank books into Amazon, and they've sat there for 4, 5 years. I think it's 5, no, 4 years they've sat there, because I've been doing Amazon for 4 years now, and I'm having them sent back now, and then they're coming back and they're knackered, and I've listed them as like new, and I'm like, oh God, what am I doing? You know, just yeah, there we go. So I'm no expert, but basically a low rank as you can. I don't send to Amazon any books over 2 million now, and I don't send to Amazon anything that's like too tight of a margin, especially with your DVDs and stuff, because they've really come down hard now on DVDs. Before it was, I used to not sell a DVD below £5, but now I'm trying to get above £10 really, because you're making peanuts otherwise. You know, that's a fool's errand, that is. Okay, so the next one was off Colin Mack. When you're listing in the future, what will be your parameters between listing something FBA or FBM, which is fulfilled by merchant? For those who don't know, that's where you post it out. Let's keep an eye on the chat. I know the dreaded listed video thing. Yeah, no, I've got so many video clips that I need to edit. It's like that video from Jason T. Smith when I met him. That was the start of last summer, and I've been putting it off. So I thought I'll put it out for you guys. But yeah, that's why there's leaves on the trees and stuff. So yeah, apologies. I've got a video I was supposed to do for my mate's stag do, which is like over 2 years ago. So, but yeah, it's kind of similar to FBA UK's question. I don't send to Amazon anything that's above 2 million rank. I don't send anything heavy, so it's like a really heavy hardback coffee table book. I do send board games in, but they've got to be decent to do it. The big ass board games, some people merchant fulfill them. I don't bother anymore because I'm too lazy to count the pieces. But I know Nick does really well with board games, even big ones. So horses for courses, I guess. But in terms of books, and also I don't send stuff in that's easily damaged. Something that's got like a lightweight paper dust jacket, I don't send to FBA, because even if I wrap that, it's still gonna get damaged. And then the other time I'll do merchant fulfilled is if it's a short-term popular item, like for example with Ken Dodd passing away. I realized in my stash of stuff to list, I've got a Ken Dodd DVD, and I listed that merchant fulfilled, and that sold within the week. Because I think by the time I'd posted it to FBA, it had been processed, loaded into the system on the shelves, that market would have died down a bit. That's not a good choice of words, but you know what I mean. Oh, we've got George Ross in Wally's Shed. No, it's not a problem, mate. I'm still on for another 20 minutes or so, wittering on. So just check back. Got BCP in there causing trouble. Okay. Next question is from Hawk Ridge. What prompted you to begin reselling, and do you have a favorite beer? That's a bit of an odd thing. There's a second point as well, which I'll say. With the changing face of reselling and arbitrage making things uncertain at times, have you started branching out into other niches or platforms to any extent? Was kind of that latter one's kind of what I talked about before with the antiques booth and fairs and that sort of thing. So I've kind of covered that already. But in terms of beer, probably Carlsberg. I like a bit of the old sort of Dutch beers, that sort of thing. And then sometimes Bud Light as well. That's all right. But I'm more of a cider drinker, to be honest, like your Copperbergs and your Strongbow Dark Fruits, that sort of thing. Got a bit of a sweet tooth for that. So yeah, that's the beer part covered. But most beers, I think the beers that I probably don't drink are more like some of your real ales, because they were the ones that I got leathered on when I was like a teenager, so they make me feel ill now. And then also like your Stella, because that gives me an uncontrollable, revengeful rage, like an unrepentant rage where I just want to break stuff or smash things. That's like my Hulk juice. Same with gin. Gin, I'm a blubbering wreck on the floor, and I'll watch like a film and I'll be an emotional wreck. So gin and Stella, don't get me on there. Yeah, I'm only joking, BCP. I know you're sitting there being quiet, not causing trouble. And then what prompted me to begin reselling? Basically, I've said this before on other chats, that the way I got into reselling was, half beer, half cider. Yeah, it's snake bites. I love a snake bite. Yeah, it's got to be with a quality beer, and it's got to be with Ribena. And then, the best snake bite is a super snake bite, which is Skull Super or Tennant Super, Ribena, then White Lightning or like a strong cider, and yeah, that's the super snake bite. That's the best. Anyway, sorry, I'm getting sidetracked. I got into it through because I had a woodworking business where I was making furniture and all that, and it was recession time. No one was buying luxury goods. No one was buying furniture. So it was really difficult to sell the stuff I made. I put all this work into something and it wouldn't sell. So I was like, what the hell am I doing? I had to take on part-time jobs and that sort of thing. And I was making picture frames and mirrors out of reclaimed timber. And in the timber was nails. And it was knackering my bandsaw. So I got a cheap metal detector, not the one I've got now, but one before that, which was rubbish, to find these nails so I could pull them out and know blah, blah, blah. And I was just bored. And I went out metal detecting with it. I found a couple of old pennies and stuff. And I just, in my spare time, I was looking at YouTube videos about metal detecting. And I became obsessed with metal detecting videos, like proper obsessed with them. So I was watching them. And then one of the recommended videos was Terminal 99, who, if you're not subscribed, get over to his channel, subscribe, amazing. And he was collecting old pennies and storing them away because they got copper into copper investment. But then I started watching his other videos, which are about reselling, and I thought, yeah, I've done that before. I've sold bits on eBay. I wonder if I can do that. And so what I did is I did that to supplement my income, to make up for the fact I wasn't selling furniture. And then more and more, I realized that I was selling more and more on eBay, and actually it was doing better than my other business. So I kind of phased over to that, still kept the part-time job on, and then just let that go eventually, kind of gradually moved across. And in the meantime, I started making videos. That's why my early videos were about making stuff, metal detecting. I was replicating what I was watching on YouTube, essentially. And then it's more from there, really. I got into coins from that, and then I discovered Amazon after that, and here I am now. So that's sort of what it is, really. What have we got in the chat? I must be doing something wrong. Stella mellows me out, Darren. Oh, well, there you go. Maybe you're just too angry normally, and it like resets you round back to mellow again. Something like that. Stu Mandry, the lotto gives you 1 million chance you won't go to work tomorrow. Alcohol gives you a 1 in 5 chance. Yeah, that's true. By the way, I'm not advocating drinking heavily. Some of the binge drinking you see these days out and about is just plain shocking, and I've seen it ruin people's lives. A relative of mine was an alcoholic, and it nearly cost him his marriage. And I've seen that, and that's really hard. But I do like downtime and having a laugh. So it's all about boundaries, isn't it? So I don't want people to think I'm advocating, that side of things. But shop windows question. I have been doing this for decades, but still excited at the prospect of car boot season. Do you still get the bus? I can't wait. I can't wait for the car boots. The car boots is going at the moment around here, but I'm holding off because I know that as soon as I start, that's it. in it, you'll just see crap behind me. I'll just be absolutely full everywhere with stuff, and I'm trying to empty some space out so I've got like room to breathe. So yeah, because when the car boots get going, that's it. The trolleys are out. I just checked on the trolleys the other day. I've got 3 trolleys ready to go, and then another one that's got a dodgy wheel. So I'll just need to repair that. So then they'll all be going. I've got them all decked out. Yeah, they're ready to go. Got my rucksacks as well. I'm starting to store up change for the car boots. So come sort of late April, Easter time, I think of Easter as that's it. It's go time in the car boots. But I love them. Oh, cheers, Southwest Sellers. Appreciate that. Yeah, so there we go. The next question, we've only got 3 questions left, and then I've got some other ones as well, is from a great YouTuber named Johnny Mango, which sounds like a kid superhero character. Brilliant. Do you buy stock in January, February to put away for Christmas? Yeah, definitely I do. Yeah. I mean, I've been sort of doing it loads of times, but it's people like Nick and some of the American guys that really push me into doing it, especially with toys and stuff. I used to buy electronics and things like that in the January sales and put them away. But yeah, definitely toys. But I didn't just put them away and forget about them. I'm always monitoring it throughout the year. So if, say, midsummer the price has gone up, I'll list them. I'm not going to hold out forever on them. You know, if I see that it's a good price, get them listed. God, Easter's a week away. That's not good, Dave. That's not good at all. So yeah, I do. But you got to be really careful though, because what will seem like a deal at the time, maybe nationwide, the market may get flooded, and I've been burnt. I bought some, what was it? My Monopoly or some Monopoly game about 3 years ago, and like that straight away, I think I bought 5 or so. I didn't go too mad. I bought like 5, and then like there was just no money in it forever. You know, I think I donated them. So yeah, it's dreadful. And then there was a Starship one. Starship, was it like the Star Trek Enterprise box set or something? I bought loads of them, and I was sitting on them forever. So you can burn yourself easy, because when you're initially looking, that's before everybody else in the country's bought them. So it's a difficult one. Yeah, the clock changes. Yeah. I mean, it's funny. Last year, I went all throughout the winter going to car boots, the indoor ones, but for whatever reason this year, I've not. Okay, so doing it yourself lifestyle was, who was the worst dickhead of the week? And my initial, as soon as I said that, my initial gut reaction was Zahir. But then I thought about it and thought, yeah, okay, he has been all right at times. But I think actually my most annoying dickhead of the week was the woman at the car boot who I was buying some Wii stuff. I was buying some Wii remotes and other bits. And I got them in my hand, and I was negotiating the price with the guy. And she was taking them out of my hands. She was like pulling them out the side like you would with Jenga to then buy them. I was like, what are you doing? She was like, I'm buying them. I was like, no, I'm buying them. So I think she was my worst, really. And she played on the whole fact that she was a woman and that I wouldn't say anything to her because she was a woman, and she, like an older woman as well. So she felt like she could get away with it. And I think she was the worst. But yeah, there you go. That's that one. And then the last one I've got here, until I move on to these ones, is from Picking Profits. He's an American YouTuber. Go over and check him out. He's definitely worth checking out. He's does all sorts from Amazon to clothing to etc. And he said, I want to hear you talk about politics, YouTube frauds, British culture. Otherwise, if you ever want to do a live chat and talk about clothing and books, which I'm up for doing that. You know, I'll see if I can get him on here and we'll have a chat about that. In terms of politics, I'm not sure really whether that would go well with my YouTube, because I don't want people to prejudge me if I start talking about politics. Do you know what I mean? I think it would muddy the water a little bit. I'd rather keep that separate. So if I was to do that, I'd do it like on another channel or something else, because I feel that I'd sort of disenfranchise some people and sort of put people off and turn people away if I start ranting about politics. I mean, I rant all day long. I'll rant about the idiots who are like in Asda trying to nip in front of me, or Muppets in at the car boot. I quite happily rant away at those. But politics, that's probably for a separate video or a separate channel sort of thing. Do I have a copy of the Ashes DVD box set? No, and I never will. I'm not going to buy that. I know there's money in it a little bit, but I'm not going to do that. No Southwest Sellers. I did not get a number. Yeah, definitely. I wouldn't mind talking about British culture, actually. I think that'll be an interesting one to talk about British culture and also buying sort of etiquette, because there's this interesting sort of etiquette, like decorum of like what's expected and a politeness. And this goes back to actually to that story with the dickhead of the week, that I think her cultural bias was different to what mine is. So for her, that seemed socially appropriate. To the fact I hadn't actually bought it, or it wasn't in my trolley, it was all right because I hadn't bought it. So she was taking it out of my hands. But for me, that was insanely rude. So it might be interesting to talk about that different sort of cultural British sort of etiquette and things like that. Maybe, I'm not too sure. YouTube frauds. Gosh, I've put down here. Where have I put it? Yeah, love to call out all the bullshitters, but there isn't enough time before the sun expands into a red dwarf and consumes the earth to talk about all the YouTube fraud people. There's definitely people out there who are Billy bullshitters, definitely. But at least they're making content and getting some word out there. But I don't like it when they have a following who religiously follow them and walk their walk when they don't actually themselves. I'm not going to name names, not in this chat, because it's not fair to do it like this. But there are certain people who come across as internet gurus, or the next millionaire, online millionaire kind of thing, and they're not doing what they say. They'll buy some bits, they'll do some bits, they'll sell the odd bit of clothing online or something, and all of a sudden they're a guru. And actually, they're funded by the bank of mum and dad, or they've got a job and they're just not talking about it. So that does piss me off. I think that's this is wrong. It is wrong. But there you go. You're going to get that in all walks of life. You're always going to get fakers. And some people are trying to fake it till they make it. I mean, there's people who've got YouTube channels that have got triple my subscribers. And it's all baloney. And I could come on here and say, oh, I've bought this. I've bought this for just £1, and you're just taking my word for it. I could have paid full price for it. I could be a complete phony. But what's the point? So there you go. That's my view on that. So let me just check the chat quickly, and then I'll move on to the ones on my phone, because we've only got a few minutes left. So I'm going to try and keep this to an hour. But if you like this, I'll certainly do some more. Dave Rowland, question: if you could go back in time, what's the advice to tell your younger English picker? Well, if I was to go proper back, I'd probably say buy more sealed Wii games and bundle them away. Don't get a storage unit. That's one I'd definitely say. Don't get another bigger storage unit and fill that. Don't try and do a house up while you're living in it. That's another one. When Nick Hill says, go on, just one more drink, say no. Oh, and then when Bobby Billington says, do you fancy popping to a few charity shops, say no. I can't really think of any others, but just kind of don't sweat the small stuff. Keep better records, because my first year of records was a nightmare. I remember having a giant tub of receipts, and I spent weeks going through this tub of receipts. It was an absolute nightmare, and I remember it so well, and it was horrid. So yeah, but don't go over the top with records that you're suffocated by them, if that makes sense. You don't have to have an Excel spreadsheet of every single sale, because eBay provides you with all the information you need, really. You don't have to record it to crazy amount. Let's go in the chat. Yeah, I'm only joking, Chris, about the charity shop road trip with Bob. That's always a good laugh, but it can get expensive. I've got one from George Ross. Question: what items available now do you think will be valuable future antiques? My personal opinion is brown furniture, because there's a big thing at the moment where everybody hates brown furniture. Everyone's shabby chicing it, painting it, and then in about 20 years, everyone's going to be stripping that paint off. So good quality, like English made, well built furniture, small items of furniture that you can maybe post, or just decent, not giant wardrobes or things like that, but just good quality, well made hardwood furniture is my antique of the future, really, because people, it's going to be like back in the 50s and 60s, where doors like this here got panelled over, and then I'm the sucker who's picking the paneling off and having to strip the thing and repaint it again. So that's my one. Yeah, you're right, Darren. I'd rather have 6,000 subs for being a genuine person than a million subs for being a faker. What have we got? Question: do it yourself lifestyle. Why are you limiting yourself to an hour? Well, I just thought I'd try and keep it concise. I mean, I could come back here and do some more questions if you want. I'll try and get a set day once a month or something like that to come on here and have a chat with you guys, something like that. Also, I talked to a couple of other people to see if we could do a hangout somewhere where maybe it's just on in the background, maybe for a couple of hours. People can dip in and out as you're listing, open up in the side window, having a bit of a chat. So if anybody's interested in that, shoot me a message. I might try and get that set up. I'm not quite sure the technicalities of how that'll work, but kind of like chat as you list sort of thing. Just scrolling back in the chat. Yeah, you're right, George Ross. I think politics caused enough grief. I've fallen out with people before. People who were really good friends because I'd briefly mentioned something about politics or whatnot. I was once, this is a funny story, actually, it's totally unrelated. I'm a member of a pool like club thing. I'm dreadful at pool. If you ever want to win a game of pool, play against me. I'm dreadful. But I like going there because it's cheap beer. And I went there with two of my mates, and we were in there, and basically they were having a massive argument in this pool hall, which is a bit of an iffy place, about whether the Americans had landed on the moon in the 1960s. And one of my friends was really sure that it was faked, like that it was on a soundstage, all this. And the other friend was really certain that they'd been on there, talking about retro reflectors, which are still on the moon, which you can shine lasers on and tell that they're still there. And they were proper arguing. And these are good friends, and they're good friends with each other. They have been for years. Massive arguments. And the woman at the bar was like, what are they arguing about? Is it over a woman? Is it over football? And I'm there in this yokel pub. I mean, what do I say? I said, I don't really know. I think it's about football, because I'm not going to go, actually, it's about whether they landed on the moon, because I don't think that would have processed in her mind. And that's the same analogy with YouTube. It's got a time and a place to talk about politics, but I don't think it has any business being on my channel, really, to be fair. I remember the shout out game. It was funny. Star Trek DVD game was getting sold everywhere. Yeah. Just have a quick look back. Yes, Car Boot Mania, you do need to invest in a trolley. Honestly, I have no shame about the trolley now, but it is one of the best things I've bought for car boots. It's brilliant. I'm going to do a video probably when this season starts about car boot essentials, what you need, because there are some things which you wouldn't think of, and then it's like like even taking antibacterial hand wipe things. That was a game changer for me as well. Talking about alcohol. Okay. I'll get onto some of these. If I've missed your question, post it again, will you? Okay, I've got some in here. Chris asks about, it's actually to do with my gaming channel. Oh no, the first one's about this. What equipment do I use for YouTube? I use a Logitech C920 webcam, which is what you're watching me on at the moment, so I can't show you. That has got an inbuilt microphone, but I do use this beauty, which I actually picked up from, let's see if I can do it there, Cash Generator. I picked that up for 50 quid. They're normally, I think they're about 80 to 100, and that is a Yeti Blue microphone, just because I wanted to sort of upgrade it. But yeah, the Logitech C920 is kind of the industry standard, really. So YouTube standard for people. It's good resolution. It's got quite a wide field of view. So yeah, that's what I use for that, and I can use that with the PS4 as well. With my gaming channel, he goes on to ask, do you use a capture card? No, I use the share function on the PS4 at the moment. I will get into using an Elgato and doing more edited videos, because I've got a really sick new intro, which someone sent me, and this is for the gaming channel, and it's awesome, and I can't wait to put it in a video. It's really cool. But yeah, I just use the share function on the PS4, and that goes through that way, and then I can edit it a little bit after the fact and put a thumbnail and all that jazz. So yeah, and I just use the PS4 camera, which is good. Yeah, so they're all the ones from there. I've got any more in the chat. Yeah, the snowball's good as well. The one Nick's got, it's a bit smaller as well, a bit less cumbersome than this Big Betty here. So, Ads is in the comment. I read your question out earlier, mate. Yeah, it's 120 quid on Amazon. This originally I bought with perhaps the view to sell on because there was enough money in it. I seem to remember, but then I thought, you know what, I'm going to keep this. Yes, I did, Bob. I got it from Castle. Yeah. No, I haven't got Go Faster stripes, Graham, on the trolley, but one of them I have got a little name badge on there because I found this name badge. I thought I'm going to stick that on there, and also I've had it before where someone's walked off with my trolley and left theirs. So there you go. I try and sort of make it different. You know, like you do with the suitcase at the airport, you put something around it so it looks different. Because there's a lot of people with trolleys now, to be fair. There's one guy who goes around with a mobility scooter and he's got a trailer as well, and he fills that. I'm like, that's ridiculous. He'll like take up the whole front of a stall. But yeah. What have we got? Do ghosts exist? Blimey, Peter, that's well, if you see a face appear up here, then maybe, yeah. I've never seen one myself. Not saying they don't exist, but I don't know. Who knows? It'd be cool if they did, but there you go. It's the same with UFOs. It'd be awesome if they did, but okay, what have we got? Yes, you are a plonker, Peter. Yeah. Oh yeah, conspiracy theories, Nick. Well, some conspiracy theories I do believe certain things, and certain things which I thought, you know, oof, that's bonkers have turned out to be true. So yeah, it's you got to take everything with a grain of salt. I'm a skeptic, but I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I think there is a difference between the two. Is that Riley's, Tom? If so, I get to go there very often. I don't know what you mean, Carpet Mania, but I'm late, but Tom's promotion pose hooked me in. Oh, damn it. I never posted a link to this in the chat. See, this is me being an idiot. So bear with people. You should do more of these live things. I could happily watch you all day. Yeah, well, it's funnily enough, I did a gaming thing the other day, and Bob, who's in the chat, it was so mellow, I actually sent him to sleep. So I don't know whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, but yeah. I'm going to try and do some interviews with some people as well, which would be cool. Southwest Sellers, good point, Tom. Other vendors at our antique centre all paint old furniture when I like the look of the original. Yeah, I've seen some beautiful furniture that's been painted. Yeah, CRTs. Yeah, that's a good one, Dave. I mean, flipping heck, they're getting destroyed at a rate. They really are. Sign. Well, it's nice. Well, it's nice racks you've got. Okay. Brown furniture is actually starting to. Oh, is it starting to come back? I know, like the Danish modern stuff is back in. I'd love to get into selling like furniture, big furniture, but it's the space, isn't it? It just takes up too much room. It really does. I go much quicker than Tom does. Yeah, Bob's referring to the fact that This is a question for you guys. How long do you? I might put a poll on this if I can somewhere. How long do you spend if you go to a charity shop? How long do you spend in there? I take ages. I look at absolutely everything to try and find deals. I'll go to the books, then I'll go to the media, then I'll go to the electronics, I'll go to the bric-a-brac. Probably the only area I don't check is the clothes. So, yeah. Well done. 2 houses with snake bites. Oh dear. So let me just check, see if there's been any other questions. Oh, we've got Sam the Hoarder. Talking of conspiracy theories, was 9/11 government planned? Was 9/11 an inside job? Blimey, that's a heavy topic. I don't know if I've watched all the like videos about it, and then the 9/11 Commission report. I don't know. I honestly couldn't say. I've even read like David Icke's book, where he talks about the royal family as an extraterrestrial race of shape-shifting lizards. I battled my way through that, and that was a hard book to read, but yeah. Oh, yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, Riley's. Did you say a while ago you were looking to do a cooking channel? Yes, I am. I'm going to get down that. The only problem, knocking my camera. The only problem is my kitchen is currently a building site, so I can't really do a cooking channel. I'm going to do a channel which is kind of like cooking, reviews, tips, that sort of thing, really. I'm going to do some tips on this channel, which is sort of vaguely reseller related, but there's some other tips and things like that I want to do. Definitely. But yeah, I will get round to it. Money saving tips, things like that. Because I'm a tight arse, so it'd be good to share that. Yeah, that's the thing, Nick. That a lot of the conspiracy theories have been proven wrong, but they still cling on to it. They have like a religious zeal of, that. Tom, question: have you ever purchased a mixed pallet of stock, taking the chance? No, I'd love to though. That'd be cool. Like what Steve and Steph do. That'd be ace. I'd love to do that, but I'd still have it all. I just wouldn't list it. I'm a lazy sod, so Yeah, I'd like to. I've looked into liquidations and stuff like that, but yeah. Anyway, so what we got? Are you from Newcastle under Lyme? No, but I know I know where that know what that is. That's not far from where I grew up. I'm from Stoke-on-Trent originally. Oh, cheers, Nick, for sharing the thing. I suppose that, we'll go for a bit longer. Why not? Why not? I'll break the rules. Sod it. I'm self-employed. I don't care. As long as you guys are finding it interesting, we'll go for a bit longer. I'm going to be streaming tonight on the Reseller Gaming later on. I normally do sort of middle of the day and fairly late at night to do that. So if anybody wants to head over there and ask me any questions, they're more than welcome to. Chris has put, I check media, toys, books, clothes, bric-a-brac now. It takes me forever. Do-it-yourself lifestyle. Good thing you don't check the clothes. You'd be there all day. Yeah. Oh God. But I always know if I'm not finding anything because I'll buy clothes and then I never list them. So because I can't be bothered. Okay. Vinny said very little time to be honest because all ours are rubbish and tiny. Crispy, I can spend over an hour in the charity shop. Yeah, I'm not that bad, but yeah, the general consensus is 5 to 10 minutes. Darren getting a shout out, lol. Okay, a bit random. Oh gosh, that's George. He shouldn't have brought up 9/11. Self-employed, I don't care. Phrase of the day. Yeah, that's the thing. I love it. It's great being self-employed because if you think, do you know what? I'm going to watch Cash in the Attic today, then you can. It's great. Yeah, keep it running time. Oh, that sounds bad. Chris laid like in the air. Yeah. Evening, Tom was watching all your Dickhead of the Weeks again yesterday. Cool. Did you spend at least an hour in that warehouse that time? Yeah, I did. Yeah, it was over an hour. It was good. Me and Bob went to this. It was like a charity shop warehouse. It was really cool. Like loads and loads and loads of walls and walls and walls of books, and I was there scanning it. Every single one. I was there with my phone, scan. So yeah. Meanwhile, Bob was looked at the clothes several times over and was patiently waiting. I can spend about an hour in one if I get chatting to the manager. My food. Yeah, that's the thing. If I get chatting to some of the local ones with the managers. When the charity stuff when the charity shop staff bring you lunch, you know you've been there too long. Yeah. I got invited on to a charity shop work Christmas night out this year, but unfortunately I couldn't make it because I was already going to another thing. But I said to them, I'll definitely go to another night out because that could be hilarious. Really could. What are you planning on tonight? Do you mean gaming wise, Pete? I'm not too sure yet. Actually, I had a good one last night. It was rather funny. I was getting sort of high as a kite on leprechaun juice, so that was rather entertaining. Yeah, cheers, Peter, for stopping in. Oh yeah, he's put what game? Yeah, cheers, Vinny. Yeah, I will be finishing this up soon. Actually, to be fair, because I'm running out of tea, so yeah, it's not good. No way you get Crispies, but I go to the Christmas party every year. I'm such a good customer. Yeah. Well, this year, and I did this last year. I got I always give money to my postman as well because he brings me loads of stuff like Amazon returns and whatnot. And I took it was my local gold and silver dealer. I took him a box of chocolates and some beer. The charity shops I took chocolates, and I took the manager a bottle of wine and stuff like that. Yeah, I just because I go in them all the time, and she does me deals and whatnot, and then the other one I got him 4 cans of Stella because I know he likes Stella. So yeah, I think it's important to do that. Really, I was more giving gifts to people in shops because I didn't know if they'd be able to take money because of like a conflict of interest. Questions: are you mainly on Amazon now or Ham? Oh yeah, you asked that. Someone asked that earlier. Yeah, I'd say I'm about 80% on Amazon, something like that. Maybe, yeah, probably. I've only got a couple of hundred items on eBay. I really need to build it up, but I'm just a lazy git. I can't list on eBay. I just can't get. For me, it's like I can't do the descriptions, the keywords. I just can't be arsed. I'm just a lazy. So I'm spoiled with Amazon basically, where it's the listing's already there. I've just got to type my condition and the pricing. Oh, we've got falling on a bruise. Cheers for popping in. Oh, Chelsea's in. I answered your question earlier as well. Okay, what have we got? I'm not a fan of charity shops as I deal only in antiques, and they're definitely slim pickings for antiques. Oh, back in the room. I've just completed Quantum Break on Steam. Decent game. Tempted by the Talos principle after your streams. Yeah, I've heard Quantum Break's good. The Talos principle is wicked. It's really good, mate. It's decent. It's a bit priced. I think it's about 35 quid. There's a link in the description on the streams to where I got it from a local gaming shop. That was it. I didn't get it off Amazon. But yeah, it's decent. It is definitely decent. It's head pickler, and it's longer than I thought it was going to be. That sounded wrong. Do you remember Shelley's instead? Oh, Shelley's, blimmin' heck. The bit before my time that was, but yeah. Bob will probably remember it. Yeah, totally agree, Tom. Doesn't hurt to grease their palms. I'll give them a tub of celebrations or something. Yeah, that's a great idea. Questions: have you ever played The Vanishing of Edith Carter? It's funnily enough, I nearly bought that last night, but it's like 15 quid, and I thought, I'll get round to it. Because at the moment, I've got about 20 games to play. And Car Boot Mania sent me a link to this website which tells you how long to complete it. And I think I'm probably either going to be 44 or 43 before I complete all the games that I've currently got. So, yeah. What's this? Here's okay. I've been invited with Zahir to go and bash in the woods, so that doesn't sound very good. Yeah, you're right, Nick. Amazon does make eBay feel like hard work. Yeah, cheers, Nick. Cheers for tuning in. I'll just read these last ones and then I think I will finish this here. Chat's just jumped. Time for some. Let's go on latest, everyone. Cheers, Stu. Question: what's your strategy with Amazon fees now? Yeah, I kind of talked about that earlier. Really, it's just it's really just this the merchant fulfilled everything else really, and then the first editions and stuff like that, which I get, I put them on eBay, but I cross post them eBay and Amazon. Is it worth my 300 plus books from eBay to Amazon? Don't know if it's worth the time. Well, I mean, if you're organised enough, cross post them. So have them listed on both. But you've got to be organised because I've screwed myself over before on it. So, okay, let's. 23 hours. Yeah, the Talos project's about 18 hours. Oh, Ethan, not Edith. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to leave this here now. So I'm going to do another live stream probably in a week or so. I'll post in the chat about it if Nick's all right with that, because I couldn't quite get the technicalities of how this works and all that because YouTube was being a right numpty. So and they were telling me off even before I started the stream. So don't know what's going on there, but hey ho, thanks everyone for tuning in. If you're not subscribed, smash that subscribe button, which is either down here or down here somewhere. And if you're into gaming or just vaguely interested in someone whittering away in the background while you're listing or posting, check out Reseller Gaming. I'll be on there. I live stream 1 to 2 times a day, something like that. So I'll be on later. I live streamed earlier. So yeah, cheers everyone. Hope you feel better soon, Chris. If everyone could, send some good vibes over to Tat on the Times way. He's had a bit of a rough time lately, so big shout out to him. And yeah, thanks everyone for tuning in. So yeah, I will see you all soon. Bye everyone.